It's not uncommon to see waterfalls in real life, but have you ever wondered how they form? Some waterfalls are formed by glaciers, others by tectonic plate movement, but most of them follow a similar process to form their distinct features. Let's take a closer look at how waterfalls form. First, we need water. Without water, there can be no waterfall. Water is constantly moving and eroding the Earth's surface through a process called hydraulic action. This happens when water seeps into cracks and crevices in rocks. For example, Niagara Falls was formed when the Niagara River cut through the softer limestone to reach the harder shale below. They are a testament to the power of water and a reminder of the constant change that is happening on our planet. So the next time you see a waterfall, take a moment to appreciate the forces that created it. Other waterfalls form when two plates of rock move apart. As the water freezes, it expands, putting pressure on the rocks. When the pressure is greater than the strength of the rock breaks apart in a process called hydraulic action. The broken pieces of rock are carried downstream by the flow of water in a process called erosion. Meanwhile, the water loses kinetic energy as it flows over the newly created smooth surface of the bedrock. This energy is converted into heat, causing some of the water to evaporate. The process forms a low-pressure area behind the falling water. As water evaporates, dissolved minerals are left behind, forming a thin film on the surface of the rocks. These films of minerals, along with organic matter, form the foundation of the waterfall's ecosystem. As the plates move apart, the land between them sinks, creating a valley. When a river flows into the valley, it forms a waterfall. For example, the Grand Canyon was formed when the Colorado River flowed through a rift in the middle of the North American plate. As the water freezes, it expands in volume and exerts pressure against the rock. Eventually, the chasm is so deep that it cuts through the entire rock face, creating a gorge. Neonicotinoids are toxic to bees and other pollinators, but they're showing up in our food and water anyway. That's why we're supporting a worldwide effort to ban neonicotinoid pesticides. The walls of the gorge are often steep and straight because the water is eroding the rock at a constant rate. Once you sign, you can share the petition with your friends and family so they can deepen the gorge, creating a canyon. Canyons can be hundreds of miles long and thousands of feet deep. Eventually, this pressure is strong enough to break apart the rock, causing it to crumble and fall away. The broken pieces of rock are carried downstream by the flow of water in a process called erosion. As the water continues to flow over the newly created smooth surface of the bedrock, it loses some of its kinetic energy, which is converted into heat energy. This causes some of the water to evaporate and creates an area of low pressure behind the falling water. Gravity pulls the water down, but it also pulls the rock face down. Over time, the downward pull of gravity causes the rock to shear off in large slabs. These slabs pile up at the bottom of the waterfall, forming a ledge. As the water flows over the edge of the ledge, it gains speed and forms a plunge pool. The water in the plunge pool is often deeper than the surrounding water because it has more force pushing it down. As the water evaporates, dissolved minerals are left behind, creating a thin film on the surface of the rocks. These films of minerals, along with organic matter from living things such as plants, algae, and bacteria, form the foundation of the waterfall's ecosystem. But what makes a waterfall a waterfall? The answer lies in gravity. As the cycle of hydraulic action, erosion and deposition continues, the plunge pool becomes a deep chasm. But not all waterfalls follow this process. Some waterfalls form when a river cuts through a layer of resistant rock. No matter how they form, waterfalls are a fascinating part of the natural world. Speaking of appreciating the natural world, we depend on pollinators like bees and butterflies to pollinate our crops. But pesticides like neonicotinoids are killing these insects. It takes less than a minute and shows big companies that we won't stand for them putting profit over people and planet. So how does a waterfall form? It starts with water seeping into cracks in the rocks. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. See you next time.